1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Here, coming to you today with the old song, London Bridge. So what we're going to do with this song is work on taking a really simple old melody. The song's pretty short, it's only 8 measures long. We're going to look at how do we spice up a basic melody? How do we take something we know and add more ornaments, add slides, add hammer-ons, add drone strings, add alternate picking? How do we take that simple melody and spice it up? That's what we're going to work on for this lesson. It's not necessarily that you might call London Bridge at your next jam session, right? We're using this song as a vehicle to study how to take a melody and spice it up. This is something I see a lot of beginners struggle with, and it works both directions. Sometimes they have a basic melody and they don't know how to spice it up, but it can also work the other way where they've learned maybe a tab that has a bunch of hammer-ons and slides in it, and they don't know how to revert it the other way to make it simple, to simplify it. Let's say the song gets faster, or they can't remember a certain section. If you don't know how to take out those slides and hammer-ons too, that can also be an issue. So that's what we're going to work on for this lesson, is knowing how to add those ornaments and take them out. So that's what we're going to work on for this lesson. I've got like 5 different versions of this song we're going to work on. All right, enough talking. Let's start breaking down London Bridge in the key of G. Here we go. All right, so let's jump into playing this basic melody of London Bridge in the key of G. The whole basic melody is just 8 measures long. So this could be a good one to practice memorizing if you want to work on that skill. Maybe you're a little too dependent on tabs. This could be a great song to practice that. Let's start breaking down the first 4 measures. That'll be like halfway through the basic melody. Here we go. Do that a few times. Do it really slow. Okay, so before we add any of the other ornaments, let's make sure we've got the basic melody down. So think of like slides, hammer-ons, drones, some of those other ornaments we're going to add. Those are kind of the extra spices that sit on top of the basic melody. You can always remove those if you get overwhelmed or the song is too fast. That's something that trips up a lot of beginners, is maybe they learned a version with a bunch of hammer-ons and slides or something, and then if the song gets too fast, they don't know how to take those out because they don't know the basic melody. That definitely happened to me when I first started playing. So it's really important to learn the basic melody first, then you kind of add those other ornaments on top of it. Okay? So we're going to start with our ring finger of our left hand, and we're going to put it on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. There's no pickup to this basic melody. We're going to play that 3rd fret for a dotted quarter note, which will be like a beat and a half. And then with an upstroke, we're going to play the open high E string, and then back to that 3rd fret, so just keep your finger down, and then 1st fret over here on the 2nd string. So that's why we're going to use our ring finger right there, because it's going to help us get to that next note, rather than maybe like your middle finger. We're also kind of thinking out of this G shape. That's how you can think of it. It's always good to think of your melodies in relation to a chord. Okay? So we're going... And with this lesson, I'd really encourage you to follow the pick direction below the tab. That's really going to help you play the timing. The staple-looking symbols are the downstrokes. The V-looking symbols are the upstrokes. Really important. That's going to help us when we add those ornaments. Keeping that proper pick direction is really going to help. So we're going down, up, down, down. The count would be 1 and 3, 4. I'll count it with the rest. 1, 2, and 3, 4. That's why we're playing that 2nd note as an upstroke, because it's on an and. We're going 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then we have a little response, like we basically go back up those notes. Open 2nd string, first fret, third fret. Practice keeping your fingers down behind. Don't lift them up. Don't do this. Like that, right? See how much more work that creates? Practice this. So we have... And for measure 2, the count is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the beat 3 is a half note. So if you can get that much down, you actually have about 50% of the melody down, because we're actually going to repeat that section later on. So we have... Do it really slow. And then we have a little response lick. Put your middle finger now on the second fret of the third string, and we're going to go open second string, and then first fret. So we have same timing, 1, 2, 3, and then beat 3 is a half note. And then we're actually going to play measure 2 again. So we kind of walk up those notes again. And if you're more of a beginner and you're having trouble hearing how long those half notes should be, what you can do is play the note twice as 2 quarter notes. And then kind of just take the second one out. You can still do the motion, just don't touch the string. That'll help you get the timing of it down. So you'd have... And you just practice that until you start hearing how long a half note is. Okay, then you're right there. And then we actually repeat that again. So play the opening melody line again. Now we have a little response, like keep your third finger down, and what we're going to do is we're going to put our second finger down on the second fret of the third string, kind of thinking out of this D shape here, but we're just going to use our second finger because it's already right there, and we're going to go. So half notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then open second string, take your hand off, and then open third string for a dotted half note, which is 3 beats. So you have the ending lick is... What I would also recommend is just count it out loud at first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's totally fine to count it out loud at first while you're practicing it. Alright, so not too hard. Let's play that opening melody. Here we go. If you know the words, you can sing the words in your head. That might help you get the rhythm of it down. So I'd really work on the rhythm for this opening melody. That'll be good practice. And just working on your tone and getting clear, kind of solid notes. All right, so now that we've got the basic melody down, let's look at some ways to spice that up. So one common way is slides, hammer-ons, and pull-offs. I kind of think of those all as the same thing. You can slide, you can hammer on, you can pull off. They're just basically ways to make melodies more expressive. So what we can do to start is just so you can hear it, instead of just playing the third fret, what we can do is, a lot of times you can slide from 1 fret below. You can hear how that immediately makes it a little more expressive. The other thing you'll notice is we didn't slide again. You could theoretically... So that's one thing you'll want to practice, is taking slides in and out of your solos. So again, you might hear that and you say, okay, that's too many slides, so you just do it once. But you can still hear how it makes the melody more expressive. And then we're going to walk back up and slide into it. So you have... You can hear how it gives it one kind of more of a bluegrass sound. It also has more of a vocal quality where you might bend or slide into a note, right? With guitar, we just have frets, so we can't actually play those kind of notes in between like you can with a voice or a violin. So we're kind of just trying to mimic that with those slides. And then we have... And then here we're going to do a hammer on. So we're going to hammer on. So I'm playing it with it open at first, and then I'm hammering on my finger to change the pitch. Imagine you're kind of hammering through the fretboard. That'll help you get good tone. The other thing you want to practice is get enough of the first note. You know, so you need enough of the first note to work with so you hear it change. You can notice how my right hand's still doing the same thing. I'm kind of doing those as like grace note hammer-ons. You can do the hammer-ons as different lengths once you get more advanced. We'll break that down in future lessons. But just for now, we're just adding it as a quick little embellishment. Like that. So you have... And then I just chose to keep this one the same as the opening melody. Right? You don't always have to slide. You could slide back up if you wanted to. Or you could hammer on and slide, or hammer on by itself, right? You can see once you get these down, you can start adding them to any melody, any note you have. You can kind of slide from a fret below, unless you're on the first fret, obviously. Then you can do those hammer-ons. So that's what we're practicing there. Let's play that top line one more time. Here we go. And we slide up again. And then I did a hammer-on here. Here, that sounds nice. And then slide. So just adding those little more, again, vocal qualities. And I just kept it simple here. Right? So we have... So we're not reinventing the wheel, which is what's also really nice about these slides and hammer-ons. You still hear that melody very clearly. We're not like improvising into new fingerings or anything like that. We're basically just embellishing that melody, making it more advanced. But remember, you can always take them out and go back to the basic melody if you need to, right? And then once you get it down, add them back.